exactly why I'm calling up our first panel, which is the California Veterans Community Support Panel. And we'd like to invite Nancy Schultz for American Gold Star Mothers. We will be inviting David Arbias, State Commander of the California American Legion, and Nick Berardino, the President of the Veterans Alliance of Orange County, Delaware. And they will each make comments, and then we will have some questions after. I believe we are starting with, what are we starting with? We are starting with the commander.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. First, so much to consider. My name is David Arbias. I am a state commander for the largest veteran service organization in the nation. I represent 17,000 veterans, 410 million veterans. Orange County is home to more than 100,000 veterans. It remains the largest county in California without a veteran center. Proximity to Riverside County is not accessible. Traffic congestion, long telephone speed, little work for community families. This is like a geographical equity that Orange County veterans community underserved. Despite their long-standing contributions to our nation's military and public service. The Southern California Veterans Cemetery at Gypsum Canyon would fill this critical gap, ensuring that Orange County veterans will finally have a dignified local resting place for the families and access without options. After years of delay, Orange County is now ready to move forward. The county warrants all 34 cities, all bipartisan majority of the county, state, and federal authorities, public safety and labor organizations, and more than 100 local, state, and national veteran organizations are united in support of the Gypsum Canyon locals. The Orange County Board of Supervisors has committed over 200 acres of land, $20 million for development for the veteran cemetery. The state of California has allocated an additional $35.5 million in state funding. With $55 million already secured to a dedicated site and overwhelming public support, this project is not only needed, but also ready to break ground and begin construction. The National Cemetery for this Country is reviewing the Veterans Cemetery grant pre-application submitted by the California Department of Veteran Affairs. In order to begin construction, federal funding is required. The American Legion is asking that the state immediately take possession of the property and begin site preparations. It is long overdue. It sounds like we all want to stay Let's get it done for the other ones. Let's get it done for the other ones.
We'll get a chance to speak at the very end of all three panels, and we will have 30 seconds or less at that time for you to come to the podium and make any remarks.
vets, the deserved cemetery, this board of supervisors, and again, along with you as somebody, a member of Court Civil, we wouldn't be here without you. And of course, the veterans who join us today, we have brought this project to the very brink of success. We dedicated 200 acres of county-owned land at Gypsum Canyon to the Orange County Cemetery District, represented by Mr. Deutsch here, for the with a condition that the portion that be dedicated to our veterans. We allocated $20 million for the cemetery. That money is ready to be transferred today. How that wants to see me in as I walk out with the account number, that money will be in their account by the close of business today. We sponsored and you carried two bills, Assembly Bill 1595 in 2022, which directed CalVet to design, develop, and construct a state-operated veteran cemetery in Gypsum Canyon, and authorized $25 billion in previously secured state funding to be used at that location, so we're up to $45 billion. And you sponsored AB 571 in 2025 to exempt the project from secret challenges beyond what was already done. And you authored both these bills, both required a two-thirds majority because they were urgency, and both, of course, passed. But that's not all. Supervisor Foley and I have been up in Sacramento, where we have met on multiple occasions with the Orange County delegation, with the chairs and members of the staff of the Senate Assembly Veterans Affairs Committee, Governor's Office, Department of Finance, Department of Human Services, CalVet Secretary Lindsay Singh, Undersecretary Boylan. We have made the rounds. We've been talking about this project, and we've had them even tour the Gypsum Canyon property, which, as Mr. Berardino says, will be gorgeous. You've seen it. We've got the slopes out there. It will be an echo of Arlington. We will have the vets and dignified place up top. We have a spot for our first responders, which is unprecedented in the United States of America. This is a project that is going to absolutely redound to the benefit of everybody who's had a part. Our veterans living in Berardino and Valor have worked tirelessly to build unprecedented support. As you've heard, we have resolutions from all 34 cities in Orange County, unanimous bipartisan support from our state and federal delegations, from public safety, from business and labor organizations, 140 local elected officials. You know all this, but it is to be emphasized being a project that will benefit the entire community. In October, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs released its fiscal year 2024 list of state, territory, and tribal government re-applications. For the first time ever, a Southern California veteran cemetery made the list, not the Irvine site, our Gypsum Canyon site. And being on that list means the project conforms to the standards and guidelines for site selection, planning, construction required by the VA. We got this project to the brink. We relentlessly identified and eliminated every challenge, every bureaucrat roadblock, every threat from the opposition. We've been proud to stand united for our brave military.
And the public will get a chance to speak.
As you all know, we will continue with the same level of urgency to get the state to take possession, to get shovels in the ground, and to build this cemetery. It is critical that we do it to honor, service, and sacrifice of our veterans. We can't afford any more unnecessary delays. The VA is providing clear guidance to CalVet. CalVet does not need to wait for federal funding to move this project forward. The VA has confirmed that nothing prevents CalVet from taking possession of the property now and applying for federal funding at a later date. That means that the first and most important step, take control of the land, is entirely within CalVet's authority and can happen without waiting for additional resources. And we've already outlined the millions and millions and millions of resources that are already available. I met with the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Undersecretary for Memorial Affairs Standing Ground back in September. Undersecretary Brown told me that in order for CalVet to receive federal grant funding, they must be in possession of the property. finally, the VA has emphasized that taking possession demonstrates momentum and commitment. We demonstrated in Orange County. We cannot demonstrate it in any more serious of a way. It is time for Calvet, please, to signal to our federal partners that California is serious about this project, elevating its profile and increasing the likelihood of the necessary support. In short, action today sets the stage for the success we anticipate tomorrow. We at the board, at the county, have dedicated significant time and resources to advance this project. We have met with decision makers, and we've already contacted the VA for additional conversations. Now the federal government is open, has reopened following the shutdown. Representative Joe Kim and Luke Correa have already requested a meeting with Undersecretary Brown, and expect Calvet to be at the meeting. And it will go very well if Calvet can say, we've taken possession of the property. Our veterans have waited long enough. We, all of us in Orange County, we are all in on this project. We are all in for our veterans, and we ask the wait. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. And some might not know that we actually served together way back in 2012 and 2013 as assembly members, and have known each other quite a long time. And I'll just jump in at this point just to make that a point, which is so often in government today, or really in our world, we're so divided. And we've seen that escalation over the last years. And what is unique about this project is it is a bipartisan project, and it is rare in politics to not only work together from both sides, but to have the respect. And you know, as veterans, that when you go out to do the jobs you need to do as veterans, you don't put a tag on your uniform, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm a this or that. We work together as a team. And I think we'd all be better off if we did a little bit more thinking of how do we work together. So thank you, Supervisor. All right, next we have Tim Deutsch from the county. Welcome.
Thank you. Again, my name is Tim Deutsch. I'm the Orange County Cemetery District General Manager. As far as this group goes, we're the little engine that could. We're such a small entity to be part of this major project. We're very thankful. First and foremost, thank you to Senator Quirk-Silva, Senator Umberg, Assembly Member Muncie. We appreciate the opportunity to be part of it. I want to thank initially the veterans from the Orange County Memorial Park Committee for their initial grassroots efforts in allowing the district to get involved in their planning efforts. Then I want to thank Dick Berardino and Valor for their continued efforts to get a state veteran cemetery in Orange County and for getting the attention of the Board of Supervisors. I want to thank then Supervisor Todd Spitzer and the Board of Supervisors in 2018 for taking action to dedicate 283 acres of land in Gypsum Canyon for the purposes of the State Veterans Cemetery and a public cemetery, which was given to the Orange County Cemetery District for the opportunity to collaborate to develop this important community need. And then finally, I want to thank Supervisor Wagner and the current Board of Supervisors for all their efforts to authorize staff to assist
Perfect year.
the county has put all those staff members forward to help in this project. Since September 2019, the development team, which was hired by the district, has been working through all aspects of the planning and development process, coordinating their efforts with the County of Orange CEO's office, Public Works Department, and along with the City of Anaheim Planning, Development, Public Works, and Public Utilities Departments. In August 2024, as we all know, the City Council of Anaheim unanimously approved the development project documents, providing direction to our team to take the next steps to begin preparation of construction drawings. Shortly after that, we received notification that our development approvals were on hold because we were being sued because of the environmental process. The district then collaborated with the City of Anaheim City Attorney's Office, County Council, District Council to prepare to defend this lawsuit. We hired Myers Nave to to defend a lawsuit, and in June 2025, we received a ruling from the court that was in favor of the city and the project, and thus ending the litigation. All the time that this lawsuit was going on, the development team was working on options to make this project as cost-effective as possible for both the state and the district. This project has overcome so much to get to this point. We have the land thanks to the county. We have the support of the Board of Supervisors, all 34 cities, the Federal Veterans Administration with their conforming designation, development approvals from the city, and funds have been set aside for the district's portion, as well as from the county and the state for the state cemetery. By collaborating on this project, there will be cost savings for both entities. The utility costs will be shared, grading costs will be shared, bridge development costs will be shared, project management and oversight on the whole project will be shared. Our team will be working to prepare the construction drawings with the goal of submitting them to the city of Anaheim for review and approval in 2026. As we've heard from many here today, the need is now. Our veterans are dying before our eyes. And personally at the district, we're having a completed inventory that will basically be sold out in 2027. So we need this for the community at large. We know that the state has a process to work through, and in order to commit to this project, so we are hoping that while we prepare the construction drawings to submit to the city, that the state will continue their efforts to prepare for their next step. We are very honored to be part of this project, once-in-a-lifetime collaboration, and to create a sacred place where families can visit not only their veteran loved one, but, as we mentioned, other family members on the public side. Again, thank you to all that's been part of this, and thank you for the opportunity of a lifetime for this.
Next, we have Matt Miller, the Chief Real Estate Officer for Orange County.
My name is Matt Miller. I'm the Chief Real Estate Officer for the County of Orange. I'm one of the staff members that Tim referred to, who, at the direction of Supervisor Wagner and the Board of Supervisors,
Em đổ mẹ nó cho ba ăn à ba.
and I think I'm going to get into the details a little bit more, so that you will understand kind of what's been going on, the unique opportunity that we have here. Generally, when a state veteran cemetery is sited, it is by itself, and the state has the process that it goes through. What we have here is a unique opportunity and a unique partnership. The Orange County Cemetery District is a special district. They are separate from the county. So, in partnership with the Orange County Cemetery District, with the city of Anaheim, and with the state, we have a very unique piece of land and a unique opportunity. The State Veteran Cemetery would be sharing the 283 acres with a public cemetery. What that allows is common infrastructure, common utilities. As Tim mentioned, there's a bridge that's needed, there's roads. All of that is what we have been working on with Tim for the past couple of years. As Tim mentioned, the city of Anaheim has approved the CEQA, approved the entitlements for the whole parcel. So we were very deliberate in including the State Veteran Cemetery property with the hopes that we would be giving the state that they would start at the 50-yard line, right? They're not starting from nothing. The cemetery district, county, we've done the environmental analysis. We've reviewed topography. We have grading plans. We've been working deliberately in conjunction with CalVet, who applied to the federal government last year to minimize the site costs, right? So what we have, the point we're at now with the cemetery district is that we are nearing the time when we can start site preparation. We can start grading the site. We can start putting in the utilities, putting in the roads, the entrance, the backbone infrastructure that is going to ensure that both the public cemetery and the state veteran cemetery can be ready to build. Right? Right now, you've got a hillside. We've got to turn that hillside into buildable paths and phases for both of those cemeteries. And that is the unique opportunity we have now. It is not would not wholly be on the back of the state to do that. In partnership with the cemetery district, with the support of the Board of Supervisors, who we mentioned is dedicated $20 million, as well as significant staff time. And a staff of 5 people who are working on this, along with the cemetery district staff. And we are ready to start that process, along with the cemetery district, to ensure that when and if those federal funds come in, which go towards the improvements, that there is a path there that's ready to go. And to Supervisor Wagner's point, we are prepared and ready, and I'll speak for Tim here, to transfer the property to Calvet if they are at that point. In lieu of that, we're happy right now to partner with them and the cemetery district to ensure that when the preparations on the site start, it is for both cemeteries. That we're ensuring that both cemeteries not only meeting the Orange County Cemetery District's public cemetery needs, but meeting the state veterans' needs, as Nick emphasized earlier, so that this is a seamless process. And it really is, as I said, a lot of times in government, and I am obviously blamed for this sometimes, we have our lists. You go A, B, C, D, work down the list. This is how we always do it. And that's what you hear in government a lot of times. This is how we always do it. This opportunity, fortunately or unfortunately, we can't do it how we always do it. We need to be imaginative, we need to partner, we need to sit down at the table and figure out how we start this construction as soon as possible. And as Supervisor Wagner emphasized, the county is ready and willing to do that, and I know the cemetery district is, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you, we appreciate that. We are going to move into questions. One of the things that I heard throughout all 3 of your commentaries was opportunity and unique project. I'm really appreciative of your clarifying, because I think that the public doesn't always, and you can see the diagrams out there, that these would be 2 separate cemeteries. They would not be commingled, as the state could not do that. But what you were talking about was the shared goal of 2 separate cemeteries, and how with coordination and collaborations we could not only move forward together, but also see cost savings. Can you just elaborate a tiny bit more on that?
Yeah, let me take a stab at that. And what Mr. Deutsch mentioned, but really perhaps undersold, is Orange County. I am led to believe that the last time the County of Orange constructed a cemetery was way back in 1896. We are out of space. So this cemetery is coming. What we see here is the opportunity not just to serve the public who needs that cemetery, but to also give the veterans that dignified resting place and share the cost. We've got to save costs into that hillside to put the public cemetery. There is no good reason for us to spend money twice. First on the public cemetery, and then later, whenever we get around to it, on the veteran cemetery. Let's get around to it today so that those costs get shared. And that works to the benefit, obviously, of the cemetery district. It works to the benefit of the people of Orange County, and it works to the benefit of the veterans. There's no need to wait. So that's the unique opportunity that's here.
And it also works to the benefit of taxpayers, who in essence we know is where these funds ultimately come from. But Tim, can you explain a little bit on the urgency, on the timeline of how we want to try to get these 2 pathways to not commingle on the sites, but commingle on the infrastructure?
Sure. Thank you for those questions. So we have one access into the property. That's going to be a shared access. The utilities that are public utilities working on behalf of city for this project requires electrical and water utilities to come about 1.5 miles down Santa Ana Canyon Road to the site. Access to and across the creek is a shared access. Probably 2/3 of the roadway that we put in is a shared access roadway, and at some point they'll separate. To your point, there will be 2 unified parcels that will share an access. We'll have to cohabit and work together on all of the day-to-day interaction as well, making sure that we're cognizant of each other's services. There's the opportunity also for shared maintenance. We have a crew locally, how that doesn't. I know that veteran cemeteries typically privatize the maintenance services. We have the ability to provide that service for them on a moving forward basis. And that would be part of the collaboration and process that we'll work through with that when we get to that point of operating the cemetery. There's been thoughts about sharing facilities, maintenance facilities, or office facilities. We're willing to take any opportunity that's going to have a cost savings for both the district and the state. I know it's not your typical layout, based on the guidelines, federal guidelines and CalPERS guidelines, but there's that opportunity as well that we're going to work with CalPERS and the state. Thank you.
So to sum up, we have a unique opportunity to work collaboratively with the county and the cemetery district to do something that really hasn't been done before, but certainly could provide not only a space, but a place that really gives reverence to our veterans, but also to public Orange County individuals who have passed in 2 separate. Last thing on this question is, you said pads, Matt. Not everybody understands what you're talking about on the pads and the grading, so if you could just clarify a little bit there.
Sure, thank you. I think you can analogize this. Think of your house. Think of, in essence, these 2 cemeteries as 2 adjacent houses. If you're going to build a house, you need to grade it, you need to make it flat, you need to compact it to be able to put your house on it. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the pads, is being able to grade and build that site, that flat, compacted site that you describe the cemeteries on. And just like with houses, you need a road that gets there. Right? The road is a common road that goes to the 2 houses, and then you have your driveways. So what this allows us to do is put in the things, get that, if you see a subdivision being built, they're putting in roads, they're grading things, getting it ready to build on. And that's really all the stuff that we're talking about. And to the point about the cost savings, and these are round numbers, but there is the potential for tens of millions of dollars in cost savings by doing this together. Right? If you think about the house analogy, and you have unspoiled land, if you go in and you build your house and you don't touch the property next to it, you don't grade it, then you're duplicating costs over time. So by doing these at the same time, you're preventing the cemetery district spending, say, $60 million, and then the state having to come in and spend the same $60 million on their pad, when if you did them together, it could be $20 to $40 million cheaper.
Thank you, that's really important, really appreciate it, and thank you for all of your time. And any last questions on this panel? Okay, thank you so much, appreciate it. All right, we will be moving into our last panel, which is panel number 3, California Capital Project Design and Construction Process and Current Status of the Gypsum Canyon Veteran Cemetery. I would like to introduce our last panelist. We have Jason Kenney, who is the Chief Deputy Director for California Department of Services, some of you know them by DGS. And we have Roberto Herrera, who is the Deputy Director of Veterans Services, Department of Veterans Affairs. And also somebody who has been here from the very beginning, From Calvet, John Spangler, but I first met him when he was a consultant, labor consultant here for the Veterans Affairs Committee in 2013, I believe. So we appreciate you being here, and we are going to start with Jason Kinney from DGS. Welcome. All right, so we're going to just start with questions directly to Jason Kinney, and so as has been talked about, the relationship between the county and DGS with Calvet, we understand there has been a completed feasibility study confirming Gypsum Canyon suitability for a veteran cemetery and the associated construction costs. So my question is, could you summarize the study's conclusion and the estimated project costs?
Absolutely. And for those who get the button on the microphone, please. The microphone right in front of you.
There we go. Sorry, wrong button. For those who don't know what our department does, we are the aptly named Department of General Services, so we will ultimately perform services on behalf of state departments who either don't have the authority or wherewithal to do them themselves. One of those services is real estate design and construction, so for something like this, we would step in and assist Calvet in getting a project completed. As the Assemblywoman mentioned, in very late 23, early 24, we completed a study at Gypsum Canyon. This is typical for a veteran cemetery project. The study is generally built around the Veteran Cemetery Grant Program requirements. It serves as a sort of pre-application process as well, so kind of two birds. It might be also helpful to kind of piggyback off a little bit on what Matt had been saying as well in terms of just the site context. So yes, it's a 283-acre site. There's a 156-acre proposed carve-out that the state would take jurisdiction of. Like most cemeteries, it's a 10-phase, 100-year build-out. We're talking plus or minus 2
Space here in Orange County.